Happy holidays to you both. I got in the spirit a little bit for this occasion. I've got,
Looks great.
thank you. Well, I had to dress up for you guys because I get very excited around the holidays. I get very excited for holiday music, and I'm very excited about the 10th anniversary reissue of A Very She and Him Christmas. Not the least of which is because you're fully getting into my favorite decade of music, which is the 80s, with Madonna and Wham. So I definitely want to ask you. Initially, I'm a big, very, very big Madonna fan. She's like my queen. So I think it's really interesting that you took Holiday, which is not a song about the holidays, and turned it into a holiday song. So I'd love to hear the thought process behind that.
That was Mr. M. Ward. That was his
Yeah.
idea, which I thought was such a good idea.
No, it's a really good question. I think I wanted to cover that song just because I loved it. And as far as like how to put it out into the world, we didn't know yet. But after talking to Zooey, we thought, let's cozy this song up with some other Christmas songs, and it just kind of worked accidentally, which is some of I think our favorite productions. And in a way, I mean, that song was kind of asking for it.
Are you a big Madonna fan? Either of you, or Zoe? Are you a big
Yeah,
Madonna fan?
that was the first like tape I ever got was when I was 3. They would play Material Girl in my like baby dance class. And I don't even like I was so little that I'm like I don't even know how I expressed that I like this song, but I think I would sing along to it when it was on the radio. And my dad got me that tape. There was like a cassette tape. So I was really little, but I loved Madonna. Big fan. And Matt, you're a fan too.
Oh, absolutely. And I didn't know that covering, songs from Madonna was even allowed until I heard Sonic Youth. Sonic Youth made a full record of it wasn't a full record, but a lot of Madonna covers on this record called Ciccone Youth. And ever since that came out, which was a long time ago, it just kind of blurred the lines between pop and any kind of a artistic expression you want. So I'm thankful to Sonic Youth for covering Madonna all those years ago.
As am I. So as I mentioned, the other song on this anniversary reissue is a real 80s Christmas classic. It's Wham's Last Christmas. And I don't know about you guys, but now, I mean, I've always loved that song, but now it has like a new emotional weight for me, given that not only has George Michael passed away and we're coming up on the 5th anniversary of his passing, but he passed on Christmas Day. So now when you hear that song, it's like, oh. So like I'd love to hear about, what that song means to you guys as being these are songs from, our generation.
I think George Michael was an underrated artist. Like I think you can't I mean what an incredible singer songwriter George Michael was, and I love this song. And the thing that Holiday and Last Christmas have in common is that they're both catchy loops. They just loop and loop and loop and loop. And to make a catchy loop into a song is like it's an art. It's because neither one of them seems samey, but they don't veer off the course. They really stay true to their catchy loops. Yeah, how many chords? 4 chords in Last Christmas? It's
Yeah, I
just
think I
it's
think both Holiday. Yeah, now that you mention it, Holiday
yeah,
has 4 chords that loop, and
yeah.
with Last Christmas, 4 songs that
And
loop,
some
4 chords.
variation in melody, but not too much. They both like just stay the course, and they're masterpieces, classic masterpieces. And Last Christmas also is a very melancholy song, which I kind of love catching and kind of playing into a little bit because the original version um, has such a great happy sad feel to it. I love kind of you know getting into some of those emotions that are just inherent in the melody and in the chord progression.
So obviously she and him have done 2 Christmas records, a very she and him Christmas, and then 5 years ago you followed up with Christmas Party. And I think it's really interesting because even though it took a couple albums in, 3 albums in for you to get to doing Christmas music, I feel like your origins go right back to the heart of Christmas. Because is it true that, Matt, it was because you heard Zooey sing in Elf that sort of got this whole project going?
True story.
That's part of it.
Okay, well, tell me how that's all connected then, because I think like it kind of was meant to be that you would do these Christmas records.
I agree.
Yeah, well, when I saw Elf, I thought that when I heard Zoe's voice, such an amazing voice, and I thought this is someone that has a bunch of records already recorded. This is somebody who's a singer who also is acting in movies. But I was really surprised when we met in a studio at the invitation of a film director to cover a Richard and Linda Thompson song. And I was amazed to find out that she didn't have any records. So it was
0 records.
Yeah, and only 1 song out into the world, which was through Elf. So very quickly after working on this Richard and Linda Thompson song, I was really happy to receive a few originals that Zooey wrote, and that's really been the fuel for I'd say the longevity of She and Him is Zooey's songwriting
and Matt's wonderful production. I had actually, part of the reason why I took this movie that I met Matt on was because Matt was doing the music and I was a fan. I loved Matt's music, his songwriting, his production, his voice, like all of it. And so I was so excited to meet him. And then this director, Martin Hines, that we were working with.
My cat just knocked over my ring light, but we'll continue.
No, you're all good. What's your cat's name?
Pussy Cow.
Did you name her after the Go See Cow commercial from a long time ago?
Yes. And you remember that. Oh my God. I'm so glad this is on video. I'm so glad she knocked over the ring light.
Go See Cow.
Oh my God.
See, that was like one of the things I love talking about is like 80s and 90s commercials from like local commercials. Did you see this? Because Matt's from Ventura County. Did you see this commercial?
Cal, yeah.
Cal Worthington Ford.
And his dog Spot.
His dog Spot. Yes. When I was a kid, we're totally going off a tangent, but it's a good one. When I was a kid, I used to go around the house singing Pussy Cow.
That's what I thought he's saying too. Yeah.
Thank you. There's a whole Facebook group about people who misunderstood it. And I thought I was alone. And then actually when Cal Worthington died at ripe old age in his 90s, Pussy Cow was trending on Twitter. And I realized I was not alone. So you saying this is the coolest thing ever.
When you said that, I was like, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh my God, that's so amazing.
I remember being at my grandparents' house with like the, eating Doritos and seeing Cal Worthington Ford commercial. I'm
kind of feeling like She and Him should do the song, but sing Pussy Cow for real.
That's a great idea.
We might.
It's officially in the inbox.
It's to the tune of If You're Happy and You Know It, right?
Clap your hands. Yeah, it is, right?
Yeah.
Pussy Cow, Pussy Cow, Pussy Cow. You could do like a whole album of like 80s and 90s commercial songs, but with like a She and Him twist.
Yeah, we could.
That's a thought.
On the list.
Just put it out there, but now you've made my cat famous, so I'm very, very excited for that. But to go back to what we were talking about before my cat knocked.
Oh yeah, so we met on this movie. I sent Matt some of my songs. He said, "Come up to Portland, we'll record them," and the rest is history. But yes, the origin was like I kind of had. Like he was willing to give me a chance because he'd heard me sing in Elf. So he was like, not like, who is this crazy lady? He was like, okay, I know she can sing.
Well, it's really interesting because I think you used the word, Matt, like how a lot of things, you use the word accident, how a lot of things that have happened with you guys sort of kind of weren't planned or sort of were accidental. And I've read before that the scene where you sing in Elf wasn't actually in the original script. Like, how did that even come about? Because it all sort of,
it was written in, but it was kind of tailored to me because I know that when I first talked to Jon Favreau, who directed the movie, he said that he wanted whoever, I was probably like their fifth choice because I was like not a known person, but he wanted whoever they cast to be someone who had like a special skill. And I think one of the people they were looking at was good at skateboarding or something, and they were going to maybe have her be a skateboarder. But when it was me, he knew that I could sing like this kind of old time style music. I had a cabaret act and I sang, a lot of jazz stuff, and I had a lot of knowledge of that kind of old music. And so then he kind of tailored that part to me so that, but I feel like very lucky that it turned out that way.
absolutely. Is that why, because you did this sort of, as you say, this kind of old style cabaret thing that you guys did, Baby It's Cold Outside? Were there any other Christmas songs that were considered?
Well, we did that one. That was just a good Christmas duet, and then we thought if we flipped it and had, you know, me sing the Predator part, we could modernize
That's
it.
actually interesting now that you bring that up, because
The predatory
I'm
part.
sure you're aware that that is kind of the reputation that song has gotten
Yeah,
recently, which I understand the context in which
it's
that
had
song
a
was written.
soft cancel. That song.
The soft cancel. Yeah, I actually did want to know your feelings about that, because I kind of understand the context in which that song was originally written and recorded. I could understand, like, if you're listening to through the lens of recent years, it sounds a bit
It
problematic,
was
but
written as a character song originally, and when you see the original, like when you see people playing it, it's supposed to be coy, but of course it definitely, when you look at the when you look at the lyrics and you through today's lens and you just think of it as a pop song, it is not one that would be written now, but it was written as like two characters that are very much of the time they were written, and definitely not how we want to teach our young men to be.
right, right.
If she said no once, just let her go.
Was it
But
your idea to flip the genders and be the predator, so to speak, and like take on that role?
I think
Zoe's idea, yeah.
we both wanted to just switch it up.
Yeah.
So
And we're always courting controversy, so
Did you expect that scene to become so beloved? Obviously, it led to this project, and or in a way tangentially led
um
to it, but it became
I
like such a Christmas classic.
I didn't expect that. But I mean, I definitely thought the script was hilarious, and I thought, oh, if we do this well, it'll come back around. I didn't know that, I didn't know what a wonderful gift it would be. It was, it would be hard to fathom such a, you know, it's been a big impact on my life. So it would be hard to fathom at the young age I was when I made that movie. So
Yeah, because it was quite early on. I am
I was 21, so I was just a babe.
but you were doing cabaret music at that time. Was music always kind of, for lack of a less cliched way to put it, your first love, or what you kind of expected to do more?
Both. Yeah, I mean, I was like doing both. So I was expected to do both. And I didn't know exactly how I would, but yeah, it was always something. I was always singing and um, both doing theater and also singing and writing music.
Well, it's interesting because, Matt, you were saying that when you met Zooey, you were surprised that she didn't have more or any music out there. So I'm curious as to why. Well, this is a question, I guess, more for you, Zooey, why you hadn't, were you shy to put your music out there? Were you nervous to?
Yeah, I mean, just the way it panned out, I was growing up in LA, and I was doing plays, and I kind of got some representation very young for acting, and there weren't like a lot of musicals or anything happening. My first professional job was a musical, but at the time, everyone told me, oh, like once I became an actor, I was told that you couldn't become a singer without people just thinking you're a joke, a singer or, a songwriter without people thinking you're just kind of like a joke. So it took me a long time to kind of figure out the right way to do it. And as soon as I heard Matt's music and I knew that I had the opportunity to meet him, I remember a friend of mine, because I'd been looking for the right producer for many years, because I knew that it had to be, when we put out music, that it had to be very, very authentic. And I didn't want to, put out anything that wasn't totally like true to, myself and ourselves as artists. And I remember a friend of mine who knew all my songs. I'd written a lot of songs and just kind of kept them to myself. And he said, "Oh, that is who you should work with. You should work with M Ward, M Ward." And I just had it in my mind. I was like, it has to be M Ward or nobody else. And so, yeah, I was just very lucky. And we put our first record out with nobody knew who was behind the record when we first sent out our press record. So nobody knew it was me or M Ward for that matter. It was just she and him. It was the new band. So it was good because we had a little bit of anonymity at first.
Yeah, Matt, I'd love to ask you more about that in terms of you teaming with someone who was, at that time primarily known for just acting. Was there any trepidation on your part, given what Zooey just mentioned about the stereotypes people or preconceptions people have about actors who do music?
No, there was never any trepidation because I thought the songs were so good and the voice is so good that I knew it was going to work. Neither of us had any idea that we'd be doing it for 15 plus years. But, we thought it would be, just one record and see what happens. But it just really worked when we made Volume 1, and that's really what started the snowball.
No pun intended.
Pun intended.
It is, or maybe intended. But in terms of the snowballing, so to speak, when did the whole concept to do Christmas, like I said, 10 years ago, you did Very She and Him, and then Christmas Party followed 5 years later. When did the whole like Christmas thing come up?
I can't remember what the first Christmas song we covered was. Maybe Zoe can.
It was Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. We actually both loved Christmas music. And then I think we were asked to be on a Christmas compilation and we went and recorded it, but we didn't get it in time to make this Christmas compilation. And we both loved the way that it turned out. And we said, let's just hold this and make a whole record of Christmas tunes.
And that's interesting. You mentioned that song because when we were talking about Last Christmas and you said there was a melancholy side to Wham's Last Christmas. There's definitely a melancholy side to Have Yourself, especially like there's a verse that a lot of people don't sing or they change it. Like the whole, like, we'll have to get, I don't know if the version you did.
Get along sometime. That was from the original with Judy Garland. So Judy Garland was the original person to sing that song. And it was from Meet Me in St. Louis. And in that movie, the context of the song is that they're moving away from St. Louis and they're moving to New York or something, and everyone's feeling really sad and sentimental, and she's singing it to her little sister. And it's a very, very sweet, bittersweet, sad moment. They end up not moving, of course.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler. They end up not moving and staying in St. Louis where their hearts are. But it's a very sad moment in that movie. So it is a sad song.
Would you say that you guys, when you're covering Christmas songs, at least, that you gravitate more towards that one that have kind of the little sad twist to them?
We like it all. We like it all. But we like a happy sad. We like a little combo. Wrestling with multiple emotions.
So we are celebrating the 10th anniversary of A Very She and Him Christmas, but are you thinking there would maybe be a third Christmas record at some point from you guys?
Yeah, I think we would. We're always talking about other Christmas songs that we haven't done yet. There's one or two that we've been doing live that we never have recorded. Someday we will, I think.
Which two are those? Because I know you have a tour coming up.
I mean, should we say it or should we keep it a surprise?
I mean, I think we should keep it a surprise.
Kind of the encore. It's an encore situation. Yeah, I think it would be like unwrapping a present too early, maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
I understand. I do think it'd be kind of fun if you kind of kept going down this 80s tip and you did like, Do They Know It's Christmas with like a bunch of your friends?
Yeah.
Or the Ramones song.
Yeah. No, please send
all of them. Send your ideas. We'll take,
yes.
we'll take
or like all those glam rock songs, like I Wish It Could Be Christmas Every Day. And
I love a glam rock situation.
I do as well. Do you guys do Baby It's Cold Outside ever, or have you done it live?
We do it live always, yeah.
And how does that go over with the audience and related to what we
people love that song, and I usually preface it with you know, talking about the, you know, how we switched it around. Hopefully people will like it better this way.
Didn't that song come from a movie as well? Am I mistaken? And
It's Frank Loesser, I think, wrote that song, who also wrote What Are You Doing New Year's Eve, and the songs from Guys and Dolls, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. But I do know there is a version that I've seen, and I'm not sure if it's from a movie or not, but it's a kind of a comedy scene. It's the guys just trying really hard to get the girl to stay, and she's like, but you get the feeling when you see it that she kind of really does want to stay, but doesn't want to, you know, but she's, you know, but you know, again, all of this is played as a comedy, and you know, when you take it and you're just listening to the words, it could be, you know, I get the problem with it. I get why it's problematic,
but
it
I
is
also
still
context is everything.
Exactly, context is everything.
I feel like that song was not popular before Elf.
I knew the Ella Fitzgerald and Louis Armstrong version of that song. Was it Louis Armstrong? I think so. I knew that version, which is played in a very comedic way. So I think that,
Yeah.
you know, if it were played in a serious way, which when you're looking at the lyrics, it is problematic, but again, different contexts lend different meanings.
There is one more Elf question I did want to ask before I take it back to what she and him are doing, and that is, wasn't there supposed to be an Elf 2?
There was never exactly anything super close to an Elf 2. I know there were people that wanted to make an Elf 2, but that was not like, oh, there was a really, like, there might have been a script, but I never saw it. So it didn't get far enough that anybody, maybe other than Will or John, I never saw anything. So it was something that I know people have been asking for, but yeah, I never knew of one.
Would you guys ever make a movie? I feel like you could do a fantastical musical.
Yeah, we totally would.
Yeah, I love that. A lot of good ideas in this interview.
Apparently, I'm full of them. But is that, I mean, given the cabaret background that we were talking about, I feel like that would be kind of a cool natural progression.
Yeah, yeah.
Send in your scripts.
Yeah,
scripts,
send all your
song
ideas.
80s.
Song.
Yes, we'll take it.
Pussycat, come here.
A very 80s Christmas.
Before I let you guys go, what else do you have a tour coming up? What else are you guys working on collectively or individually?
We made another record over the pandemic, but we can't tell you about it just yet, but but it was very fun and kind of got us through making music. We've been making music the entire time, so that's been great.
Is it originals or is it covers or?
This one's kind of a songbook situation, but wouldn't you say, Matt? But
Yes, yeah, we can't wait to divulge everything. Very soon, I think we will be
Yes.
able to.
How exciting. And that will be in a release in 2022, I assume.
Fingers
Yes.
crossed. Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
I do have to let you go, but I really want you to see the cat. Come here. I'm really excited that you got that Pussy Cow reference. That's the
I knew it.
awesomest thing.
I knew it.
There's the cat. Do you see her? Do you see the cat behind me? Sit this way. She's right there.
There he
Oh,
is.
I
Yep.
saw her. It's like kind of a tuxedo cat.
Black
She
and
looks
white.
like a cow. That's why she's named Pussy Cow. So now she's famous because of you. So I won't let you go. But thank you again so much for your time. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Bye.